got myself a resale number. I did all the project management. I worked with the architect. I bought all the furniture, not really knowing what I was doing, but it came out great. And the contractor then said to me, hey, I have a client down on Bleecker Street. Would you be able to help her? She's stuck. So I went down there and helped her out. And then it was like one of these things where it was like one thing after another. I mean, I know you've heard this story before. And then I just freaked out because I'm an educator. My family's in higher education. I believe in education. So I'm like, oh my God, I have to go to design school. People were holding their secrets very tight to the chest, and they weren't sharing how they build. They weren't sharing their problems. You asked people how it was going. They're always like, this is great. Everything's good. We're so busy. Every time the D&D had an event, or, I was very involved in New York City design life with ASID, and just would go to all the events I could. And every time there was a design day and people were talking about their business, I would, be going and taking copious notes. And like, there was one time where Celery Kimball and I think Vincent Wolf and one other person, they were all sitting there talking about how they charge, and very different, ways. And it was fascinating to me. People really were starting to open up about how they do business. People would say, hey, I need a job description for a senior designer. Does anyone have one? Sure, here it is. Why spend all this time reinventing your wheels when someone else has already done it? Or I need a client welcome binder. Has anybody done that? And yeah, here it is. And so by working with all of these incredibly talented people from all over the country, you get to see completely different ways of doing things. And some I say, yeah, I'm going to do it that way. Some I say, you know what, that is awesome for them. That's not who I am. I'm not going to run my business that way. I'm glad it works for, so-and-so, but I can take pieces and ideas, but I don't, that's not how I do things. I, really kind of turned my focus and joined some builder groups and started networking more with them, and really trying to kind of put myself out there to not only just advertise. I kind of almost stopped advertising, but looking to connect with people that could bring business to me, as opposed to going after those random potential clients. The least amount of business you get is from just Google and random advertising, although for me, it's a little bit skewed, but the most of the business is from your existing clients and from referral partners. That's kind of where you want to keep it. Billing hourly is something we just started a year ago. Mm-hmm. So I hate it. I think everybody else hates it, but we are making the money that we should be making. So there are all these formulas that I had no idea existed, but of course they do. I'm just not a math person. But if you look at what I'm paying everyone and what I'm billing them out as, there's an obvious connection, and so I need to be able to make sure that they're billing enough hours to cover their salary and give us a profit. And that everyone needs to be doing that, so that's how we make money.
Right.
So every time I learn something like that or see that in front of me, I'm like, oh my God, that's so cool. Like, I love that part. I think that I love the design, but I've been doing the design for 20 years. And what is really energizing me right now is this business knowledge that I'm gaining to really run a really well-run company. And I know in design that is not always a focus. And I hear a lot of complaints from clients about previous designers they've worked with who, lost track of money and who went way over budget and who gave them handwritten invoices. And we don't do that. We are, really trying to be like a business. So that also is upsetting to people. They're like, oh, I feel like, it's like a lawyer. You're talking to a lawyer. And I'm like, well, we're providing a service and it costs money. I can't believe it's been 20 years. And when I look at it, it just feels like the first 10 years were fumbles. I did good work, design-wise, business-wise, not so great. I still had 2 kids who were younger, and really it was a split focus. I'm divorced, so I had I had 3 days a week they were with their dad, so I did have days where I could go full out, but the other 4 days I was, I picked them up at 3:30 every day. That was my priority, and I really wanted to do that. So now they're 23 and 26. So when Sophie turned 18, which was 5 years ago, it was like the best day of my life. I was sad, but it was one of the best days of my life because I was free. I was able to just now deep dive into my business. If I had worked for somebody but part of my thing is I think I'm an entrepreneur at heart. I don't know if I would have been able to work for somebody at that stage in my life. That takes a special person to age. I was at that point 34, 35 to start at the bottom. I didn't want to start at the bottom. I wanted to start at the top. But I would say to people, start at the bottom. Absolutely. We hire junior designers right out of school and then train them and teach them. And so yes, they're learning our way, but they come with AutoCAD and that's it. Because design school is not where you learn about the design business. You learn about the design business in a design firm. They learn really quickly, but it's learning on the job. So I would say go work for someone. It's the only way.